Hello, Clemson Nation. This is Patrick Driscoll, and welcome to this week's edition of On the Prowl, the show where I keep you updated on all Clemson sports. I cannot believe this is already the last time we are in the studio this year. It's been such a great year here at Tigervision so far, and in Clemson sports as well. The men's basketball squad is looking great as of late, as they are on a 4-game winning streak right now. Let's start with their most recent win over Towson University last night. At Littlejohn Coliseum, the men's basketball team picked up yet another well-earned win versus Towson. The game was back and forth, especially throughout the second half, with 7 lead changes. At the end of the day, the Clemson Tigers had to show the Towson Tigers who was boss. Our guys made 10 out of their last 12 shots to drive the phonies out of Tiger Town. The final score was 80-75, with yet again junior PJ Hall and grad student Hunter Tyson leading the way. PJ Hall has continued to be a force in the paint with his third straight 20-plus point game. Hunter Tyson put up his 4th double-double of the season with 20 points and a career-high 14 rebounds. What is also key to know is that the men shot an outstanding 62% from 3 this past game. They look to continue their outstanding form for the upcoming Holiday Hoopsgiving in Atlanta, Georgia, where they will take on Loyola University Sunday night. Just like the men, the women have started a little win streak of their own as well. They have taken home a W in their past 3 games, all of which have been on the road. Let's run through their most recent victory versus the Georgia State Panthers this past Sunday. With 10 different Tigers hitting the score sheet against Panthers, you could say it was a well-balanced attack for sure. After a close first quarter, Clemson went on a tear and never looked back after a 14-2 run to start the second quarter. The Tigers held Georgia State to shooting only 36% from the floor and a measly 13% from 3. If you want some tips for some lockdown defense, take notes from this squad. As a unit, Clemson was just too much to handle for Georgia State, as the final was an 85-58 win. The Tigers are finally back in Littlejohn tonight versus Charlotte, and are actually playing as we film this episode. Go get 'em, ladies. Last week, the men and women kicked off the indoor track season with the Clemson opener, and man, what a start it was. No doubt, we have to begin with freshman sprinter Wanye McCoy's record-setting 300-meter race. In this race alone, he broke a facility and school record. By the way, this was his first race of the year. His time of 32.53 seconds puts him at number 3 on the all-time NCAA list for 300 meters as well. McCoy was not the only member of the squad that hit the record books, as senior sprinter Kiara Grant ran a blazing 7.29 60-meter dash, which has her on 8th on Clemson's all-time list. Several newcomers to the team also made their presence known last week, as Gabe Ludwig took home the 1K and jumper Mason Corbin won the high jump. Returners such as Bryn Sumner, Daniel Cope, Gianno Roberts, and Shantae Foreman also took wins in their respective events. I could go on and on about the track team's tremendous start to the season, but nevertheless, it was a great display of talent. Clemson track will be back in action at home next month at the Clemson Invite. That meet will take place January 13th to the 14th, so go ahead and mark those calendars early. Just around the corner from the indoor track, let's take you to volleyball, where the ladies competed in the first round of the NIVC tournament versus Toledo last week in Lynchburg, Virginia. Unfortunately, the Tigers had a first-round exit of the tournament after losing the match in 4 sets. After a thrilling first-set victory, Clemson narrowly lost the next 2. Toledo then ended the match with a 25-18 final set win, ending the Tigers' season. Juniors Cameron Hanna and Kate Long led the offense with 12 kills of their own, and senior McKenna Slavic yet again had an awesome day with 37 assists. While this season did not end the way the Tigers wanted it to, these ladies have nothing to be ashamed of. Thank you, seniors, and we look forward to seeing you back at Jervy Gym next season. Lastly, your Clemson football Tigers earned some ACC hardware last week. Let's hear how Dabo and his men took home the ACC crown against North Carolina and Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, it finally happened. On the third drive of the game against the Tar Heels, freshman quarterback Cade Klubnik entered the game, and man, was the kid hungry. He left no crumbs in Charlotte as he led the Tigers to score on their first 5 out of 6 drives. The 19-year-old also took home the MVP honors as he finished with 274 passing yards, along with 30 rushing yards. The defense also showed ACC Player of the Year Drake May how we do things in Death Valley. Nate Wiggins led the way on that end of the ball with a blocked field goal attempt while also picking off May for a 98-yard pick six. As a unit, the defense tallied a touchdown, 3 takeaways, 4 sacks, and 7 tackles for a loss. Whew. Last week's win marked head coach Dabo Swinney's 7th title the past 8 years as well. Pure dominance. To round off the season, Clemson heads to the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida for the Orange Bowl against the Tennessee Volunteers, where I will give you all the information you need to know next time on a special edition virtual episode over winter break. And just like that, that is the last time you'll see me in the studio this year. I am so excited for what's in store for On the Prowl and Tigervision next semester. Real quick, I want to give a special shout out to my guys behind the camera, Zach Blackwelder and Connor Westover. Without them, this show would be nothing, and everything they do for Tigervision is so amazing and so underlooked. Lastly, I am your host, Patrick Driscoll, and thank you for watching this week's edition of On the Prowl. See you in the studio next year.